Have you always been a Superman fan?
Who hasn't? I mean, are there any people who say I'm not a Superman fan? I mean, I guess some of those Batman fans are like, nah, man, I'm a Batman person. But yeah, always been a Superman guy.
I'm kind of a Wonder Woman person myself. But
I understand that. I totally understand that. But you don't dislike Superman.
Never.
Never.
Never. I remember growing up with Christopher Reeves, you know.
Of course, sure. Sure.
So this is an iconic part. What made you decide to take on the role, and how did you kind of make it your own?
I mean, it wasn't what I decided to take on the role. They offered it to me, and I couldn't believe it. I'd been a little bit in the DC universe doing some voices. I played Nightwing in something, and they came to me, and I said, yeah, you know.
It wasn't even a thought, right?
Oh my gosh, no. And you know, I've been, I think, in 5 of the DC animated films, and Death of Superman, I think, is the best. It's just a special story. It's an iconic story. Everybody knows it. It pays homage to that, but it also does its own thing. It's really cool.
So, Chris, you've played The Flash before. What makes this one different or better?
Well, it's different. I don't know if it's better, but it's different, and you get a little bit more of the Flasher. You certainly see more of his life in this movie. We talk about stuff that's going on in his personal life that's really exciting, that has a direct effect on some of the choices that Clark makes. And then we get to see the emotional, kind of vulnerable side of him once Doomsday comes in and starts knocking off members of the Justice League. We get to see how that affects the Flash on a really emotional, gut level.
So this was more of an in-depth part for you than maybe it has been in the past?
Yeah, I think so. And more fun.
Okay, explain.
Well, let me I'm looking forward to seeing Jason's reaction to me doing Batman in this movie. I don't want to give too much away, but I'm great at Batman. And that's not me, that is me talking, but I would never say that.
So are we looking to move to a different character in the world from Flash to Batman?
Constantly trying to take Jason's job is what I'm getting at. I just really want to be Batman. No.
I am Batman.
Yeah, you'll see.
So what exciting things can we expect?
Listen, I think fans of the original story are going to be very happy with this film, but even more importantly to that, in my mind, are for people like me who didn't really know much about the original story, are really going to love this movie because, above all, it's just a great movie. It has great action, it's funny, and it has some real emotion that I think people can relate to.
I think maybe Jerry and I should swap T-shirts just to confuse people.
I think that would be awesome, actually. So you've played this part before.
Yeah.
Why continue with it?
Why continue with it? Why continue to be Batman? Is that a real question? Is this real life?
Why not give somebody else a chance? I heard Christopher say he wants the job.
I heard Kevin Conroy talk about playing Batman this morning. He has his chance, and I think there are several others. So I think everybody gets a chance, and I'm still in the middle of mine. So I intend to hold on to this till they pick me off with my cold dead fingers. Yeah. No, listen, I love this, and every time I get a chance to play the Bat, it's a huge privilege. So I don't take it for granted, and I love it even when Batman has a cameo like in this film, you know. Especially with these writers, they're so clever the way they keep moving other storylines forward. I mean, obviously this is Superman's movie, but they keep moving Flash storyline forward and Batman and Damian and that stuff because it lives in that New 52 world. So I just think it's really cool and really clever, and you know, when the time comes for another big Batman movie, you know, it doesn't feel like it's been years since we last saw him. It feels like he's still that's what I love about this series.
So let's talk about the death of Superman. How you mentioned your cameo, so tell us a little bit about what we can expect from you or from Batman in this.
Well, not a huge amount, and not a huge amount from the Justice League either, or it would not be called Death of Superman. I mean, it's. I got bad news for you. It's not going to be It's not going to work.
It's a tearjerker.
It doesn't work out for Superman, and it doesn't. The rest of Justice League don't fare too much better either. So, yeah, it's tough. The Justice League tried to prepare for this unbelievably powerful enemy who attacks them with such fury and so fast that they're not ready, and they're pretty much picked off one by one, and it's pretty devastating to watch the Justice League fail so hard, and ultimately Superman ends up, well,
we get the gist of it. So it sounds like it's going to be great. We can't wait to see it. Thank you.
it's really cool, and the fight scenes are just unbelievable. I think raise the bar even higher now.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Okay, before we start, I have to make an observation. Why do they all get to wear jeans and T-shirts? And not that you don't look fabulous, but the heels and the...
Because I like to wear pretty clothes.
Good answer. Okay, so you play Lois Lane. So tell us what we can expect from her in this movie.
Well, it's a big deal to step into the shoes of a very, very iconic role and a real honor. Obviously, it's extra fun being that I'm married to Jerry and he plays Superman, but we didn't get to work together a single day on it because we have to go in and record all of our dialogue separately from one another, and then they bring us back in once it's all set to animation and we tweak our stuff, and that's the first time we see how these scenes play out. And we really rely on our directors to honor the material and lead us to the correct emotional levels and, help us find the beats of the scenes. And it's an honor to play her, I mean, once I was standing in there working out this love story with Lois and Clark and then, saying this dialogue that was familiar to me, it was like I got emotional.
Well, it's a very emotional movie. Yeah. So tell us, obviously he's gone in the end, and some people feel that maybe Lois had a little bit inadvertently to do with that. Does that concern you at all?
Well, we've already done quite a bit of work on the Reign of Superman, which comes out early next year. No, I'm not concerned.
The short answer, you're not concerned. Well, we're really looking forward to seeing it. So thank you. And you do look absolutely fabulous. So thank you. Nice to meet you. So Death of Superman is really much more than just about the death of Superman. Chris talked about advancing the Flash character. James talked about a little bit Batman, moving him forward. So what can you tell us about the film?
The film is basically about what Superman means to everyone, what he means to his friends, what it means to Lois and Jimmy, but what it means to the everyman, which in our movie is represented by the character Bibbo. And he's kind of representing the fan because he's Superman's biggest fan, and he's the one who believes in Superman the most. And so we set up the groundwork for Superman's world, what his average day is like, so that when Doomsday comes, it's like out of the blue. No one expects this to happen. They think it's just another day, which, is kind of what happens when people are unexpectedly taken from us. The day starts like any other, and then things happen. And so I think ultimately the other theme is just the frailty of life. It's like if Superman can die, it makes you question and wonder, well, we should all take our lives a little more seriously as far as making sure that people who we love and who love us know that.
Very true.
So it's kind of a broader theme.
You have been working with DC Movie for a while now. Why do the death of Superman talk about them specifically, the DC movie universe?
Well, the real reason is Doomsday, the movie, made a lot of money. And yet...
Why mess with a good thing?
Well, but yet there was a thought that, wow, it made a lot of money, but we didn't even really tell the whole story. And in a way, it's kind of like leaving money on the table. It's like, wow, there's a whole other part of the story that had to be cut out because of the running time. So, can we go back in and give you more time to flesh out the front part? And so that once I realized there was a good creative reason for doing it, I was all on board. At first I was like, and it had been, the plot point of Superman dying gets used a lot. I mean, I've worked on several series where it has been used. So I wanted this to be kind of the ultimate version of that. So, and it's solely dedicated to Superman. It shows his connection to the Justice League. They're in it, but it's not their movie. So I think we give the fans an original movie that feels like it needed to be, and that's all I really wanted.
So as lead character designer, how do you start with this concept and move it forward?
Starts at the script stage. I always have dialogue conversations with James Tucker. We talk about the themes and the tone of the piece, and then I just start sketching stuff for the storyboard artists so that they have stuff to begin, sort of staging the sequences with, and then we refine as we go along. So it's a gradual process of like getting the rough shapes in place and then refining as you go.
And in terms of the character development with the voices and everything else, do you end up changing things as you go along because of what you've heard in recordings?
With a lot of these characters, because we have an established continuity, the voice actors are all like returning cast. So in theory, sure, yeah, like when you're starting a project out, but this is like, we're like 7 movies deep with these Justice League characters. So, that stuff's all been kind of ironed out beforehand, but absolutely all of that stuff plays in when you're establishing the look of something.
And what do you think of the film? Obviously, you really like it, but are you a fan?
It's not a foregone conclusion that I like everything that we do, but this one is badass. Like, I think I'm really proud of this one, proud of the whole team. We had an incredibly talented team, top to bottom. That third act fight is batshit insane, and I can't wait for fans to see it.
Tell me what it's like working with such a talented cast.
What they make my job easier. In many aspects, sometimes the voices aren't necessarily recorded right before boards, or sometimes, just because of actor schedules, or, Jerry's a busy guy, his wife is everybody's busy. They are on camera, they want to do they do these wonderful things. So
This is a wonderful thing too, though.
it is a great, wonderful thing, and we were all just talking about it earlier, like how we're all really proud. I'm like, man, we're really happy about this. I mean, we're not happy about killing Superman, but we're really proud of the product, and and we feel strongly about it, and we hope the audiences respond, in kind. But yeah, man, some of Jerry's reads, especially because I got to direct the latter half of the movie. So I get Superman when he's the most vulnerable, when he's the most just broken down, and so to hear some of that come through Jerry, like it would affect my shots. It would change scenes and go, no, you know what, that needs to be on his eyes instead, or just it's those little things that really make it a joy doing what we do for a living,
DC Movies has a great, amazing animated past. So what was the pressure there, and as well pressure with fans to be true to them, but to also include non-fans?
A lot. No, look, it's the death of Superman. It's something that DC fans especially are very familiar with. It's been done in live action. It's been done in animation. It's been done in comic book form. And it's been done 7 ways to Sunday. So what can you do that is new that hasn't been done before? Practically nothing. But that was where the fun challenge came in. And to when I got asked to come on board to help co-direct with this, it was like, no small feat, because there's this history of strong, well-received, well-done animated movies by Sam Liu and James Tucker, both who were like some of my mentors coming in this industry. So it was really nice to come back. But it was, it's daunting, but at the same time, we're all fans. We love this stuff. We want to tell these stories too, so it's just kind of like you take out that worry of like, not to say that we don't have the audience in mind. We absolutely do, because we are the audience too. But we are all, we're drawing capes, man. It's fun. It's just awesome. It's pretty great. So
It's a good job to have, right?
yeah, I'd say so.
Well, we're really looking forward to it. We've heard wonderful things about it. So thanks for talking with us.